This interview episode is brought to you by Tyree Off-Road Lights for people that need to get shit done. Visit tyreeoffroad.com right now. That's TYRI offroad.com. All right, so kids, we got an interview today with Seth and Mason. Seth and Mason are 2/3 of the YouTube channel TBN Off-Road, not associated with Turner Broadcast Network, but I know that was the first thing you thought of. They have been wheeling for a better part of 10 years now, but despite their best efforts, they never seem to get to the trails until noon. Oversleeping, repairing the previous night's abuses, or simply sitting around enjoying each other's company, something always seems to slow them down. The joke of trails by noon soon stuck, and TBN Off-Road was born. But once they make it, they hit the trails hard. The concept of making the best of time you have is the essence of TBN Off-Road. They work on their own rigs. They help their friends. They take care of their surroundings. Ultimately, they're going for it. They hope to inspire you to plan the next adventure, do that dream build, or invite that friend to enjoy the outdoors. You just have to get to the trails by noon. So basically what I'm reading here is you guys are lazy. So I got to ask, doing YouTube, is it something is easy, and certainly not something that would go with the lazy lifestyle? What's up with that?
Well, there's a reason we put 2 videos out a month.
But still, it's a lot of work. Video is a lot of work.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I'd argue we're not lazy. We just have a lot to overcome in the morning sometimes.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this for about a year now, and the learning curve has been steep, but it's been very rewarding and enjoyable. So we're having a good time with it.
Yeah.
All right.
How to work on your cell phone. What are the camera settings that actually work?
Oh, yeah.
On a GoPro. And then Corey goes and buys an Insta360. So now we have to learn another camera.
Yep.
And now we're still trying to figure out the new one.
Hey, man, that is the biggest excuse for doing YouTube. I got to get me a camera. I got to get me a mic. I got to do this. I can tell you, and you probably already know this, it's a lot easier to buy stuff than actually is use it, and especially to edit it once you get something recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Seth's the editor.
Do you feel abused, Seth? Oh, and that's another thing I want to make sure. I know who's who, but the audience doesn't. So who's Seth and who's Mason?
I'm Mason.
So yeah, I've been doing all the editing. Mason has been running all of our social media, which is a very large time suck as well. So yeah. We've divided and conquered on that one. But no, the editing we kind of just learned on our own. I started off with iMovie and just kind of tried to see what I could find out on YouTube, and we kind of exhausted the features of iMovie and moved into Final Cut Pro, and now we have drones and multiple camera views and microphones and all kinds of stuff. So it's accelerating quickly.
Yeah, then I started learning all the CapCut stuff for all the social media, and
right.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't.
So let me ask you this. This is like inside type stuff, but what do you think about the subscription model that Adobe uses?
It's expensive. That's why we don't use it.
Yeah.
I do not like not being able to buy something and then using it in perpetuity because I paid for it. I may not own the software. That I'm fine with that, but I shouldn't have to upgrade it. I shouldn't have to buy a new one. I just want to be able to use it. But Adobe kind of went around that way, and I think it's a cheesy, easy way of not doing as many updates, because you really have to put some work into something if you're going to sell a new update to somebody. They got to see something going on. And if you got it on a subscription level, they may be doing updates. They may be doing more updates. I don't know. But to me, in my mind, it's like you're just slacking because you don't want to work as hard for the money.
Yeah, we're happy with Final Cut Pro. It's a one-time purchase and it works great. So.
Yeah. Oh, I was confused. I'm thinking about something else from Adobe. I don't buy the Adobe product, so that's the reason why I'm on a rant about it. There's a product. Nope, I can't remember what it is. Used to use it at they used to use it at the old job that I worked at.
Well, the Adobe suite itself, you can use to do multiple edits, of video edits and photos, and that whole suite is very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like 30, 40, $50 a month or something or more. All right. So I'm just going to jump in here really quick and say, if you're watching this on YouTube, and if not, why not? You'll recognize Mason from the interview he did with Chris at Mid-American Off-Road Expo back in February. Mason, was everybody there with you? Was the entire team with you?
So Seth was going on vacation conveniently that first weekend of our first show. And so Seth was there to help set up, but Corey and I were at the show, showcasing my JKU that had just gotten rebuilt. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun time. We met a lot of people at Mid-America, some people down in Kentucky that were like, hey, we got some property. You guys want to come join us?
Nice.
Absolutely, because that's the thing everybody looks forward to. A lot of subscribers were there, which is good. And again, while we were there, we got a lot of new subscribers too, and we got to meet a lot of faces. But it was exciting. I mean, the Mid-America Expo, we had been to it as guests before, but we had never had our own spot there. So that was really nice. Kyle Cheney was there. That was pretty cool. He came into the guest spot at the Maxis booth. So,
Yeah,
I mean, fresh off King of the Hammers.
Yeah, very, very nice. So, yeah, it seemed to be a fun time. I was glad Chris was able to go to that. And we were guests of Mid-America Expo there. And it was a nice event. It was a much bigger event than what I had anticipated.
Oh, yeah. I think it was, almost 4,000 people throughout the weekend. So it was a lot of people there, which was good.
So you say you got more subscribers. Was that, were you hawking the subscriptions, or did just people...
we were doing a giveaway for a Rough Country refrigerator. So he had to get some way to get an entry point.
Right. And how did that work as far as getting subscribers? I mean, obviously it makes people pay attention to you, but were you requiring anything in social media to join, to win the refrigerator?
Just like, follow, and subscribe, and that's all you had to do. And then we had a couple of the other vendors pull out names at the end of the show, and Seth and I went down the following weekend and met our local subscriber. Actually, they were from Lexington, Kentucky, and they had a very nice, I think it was a white JKU as well. So that worked out well, staying in the family. And I think they're already using it on vacation.
We tried to make sure that we weren't getting all of everyone's data, because I don't want your data. I don't want your email or your phone, and I don't want to give that out either. So it was pretty simple. If they just scanned a QR code and liked or followed any of our social media or our YouTube, then they got an entry and got some free swag too. So it's a good deal. So
did you have the issue like the Mid-America Expo had, where they had they were the tickets they were handing out for the raffles and stuff? There was actually 2 tickets for everybody. There was 2 tickets. There was the same number. Did you not know about that?
No.
Yeah. Somebody ordered a couple of rolls of tickets off of Amazon, and they assumed, they're going to be different numbers. Well, they were 2 identical number rolls.
Wow.
Oh.
No,
wouldn't that be fun to find out that you had to give away 2 refrigerators?
I know, right? No, we were sitting there cutting them the night before, so everyone just had to put a name and a phone number down.
Yeah.
Very, very, very nice. How far away are you from the Mid-America Expo, which I think was in Wilmington, Ohio?
About 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Perfect for you guys then.
Yeah, we're both in Cincinnati, and then Corey, our third crew member, is up in Columbus. So it's a good midpoint for all of us as well.
Yeah, I think it was an hour for him and 45 minutes for me.
So I believe they're already planning next year's. Are you guys planning on going to that one as well, or is it too soon to say?
I think we're planning on going to it again.
That's a good one. That's a good local expo. There's not too many like that with that many vendors. There's a lot of big vendors in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool with the King of the Hammers guy. I was surprised to see that, and I bitched at Chris for not getting an interview.
Well, if you want to interview, this guy knows a person that can do that.
Kind of. It's a friend of a friend knows him, so who knows?
Oh, it doesn't matter as long as I say yes.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about Jeeps now. You already mentioned, Mason. You mentioned your Jeep, and it's a which one is it? It's a JKU.
Yeah, so I have a 2014 JKU that just went under the knife with high lift, so it's on tons and 40s now. And then eventually we'll add 2 extra cylinders to it, but for now it's just crawling and doing everything I ask of it. So it's
you don't need a lot of horsepower when you're in 4-low and off road.
Yeah.
You can always use more though.
Yeah, I mean, wheel speed would be nice here on the East Coast.
Yeah. Do you do any mud with it at all?
No, we try to avoid mud as much as we can, but we live on the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking that's what you need the horsepower for, is to clean out those lugs.
Yeah. There's a couple trails that it's been like, second gear might work. We'll see.
So you may already know this, but high lift off road, there's an individual there that you need to be careful and steer clear of. That's Natalie with high lift.
We know Natalie.
Yeah. Helped us out quite a bit.
Natalie's a host here on the show for Chick Chat, so she's a regular, and of course, if she listens to this or watches this, she'll be giving me an earful later. All right, so that's I'm sorry. What color is your JKU?
It's white.
White. Okay. So now I think I remember seeing online that there's a couple of TJs or a TJ and an LJ in the group.
Yeah, Corey has they're both 2000. Oh man, he's going to yell at me for this one. I think they're both 2006s.
I think so.
He has an LJ that is kind of his main Jeep that's on 37s, Pro Rock, 44 front and 60 rear. That one, we've got some big plans for that. And then his TJ is kind of his backup Jeep. So he was actually nice enough to let me wheel that while mine was under the knife here this last year. But that one is on 35s, and it's a Rubicon model, so it came with lockers, and it still gets around very well for being a TJ on 35s. But you get a little bit of buck and bronco when you drive that thing. So, and it's a manual, so it's a different experience.
Yeah. So for some reason, I was thinking that was the three Jeeps of the three people. But so what is it that you have, Seth?
So I have a 2013 JK two-door that we just spent the last year stretching. We did an 8-inch stretch in the rear, 3-length the rear. It was just supposed to be a stretch, and then like all Jeep things.
Once you're in there, yeah.
Exactly. Well, once the axles are out of the way, let's try this and this and this. So yeah, it became a full rebuild. And we're still finishing up. The rear axle is currently laying in my garage, and we have to wheel in 3 days. So Mason and I have some work to do tonight when we get done with this.
Yep.
Oh no! Was there talk about ditching the interview so you could work on the Jeep?
I just got a text right beforehand of, "Hey, since you'll be over here, can we put the axle in?"
Oh, perfect.
Rear ARB was leaking, so I spent the last couple of days fixing that and resetting up gears, and it's all put back together. I just need to hook everything back up. So we're close.
Yeah.
So if I saw it correctly, one of the Jeeps is red, and I think it's the TJ.
That's mine. That's the stretch JK is red.
Oh, okay. You know what they say about red Jeeps, right?
I don't.
Ooh, red Jeeps are sexy.
There you go.
All of my vehicles are red, so I will take that.
There you go. My wife has a 2003 TJ that is red. I have a 98 XJ that is the same paint code red, and the latest vehicle is a 21 Gladiator, not the same color paint code, but also red. So everybody thinks we're insane, but we like red. Damn it!
Everything looks better in red. My Jeep is actually the Rock Lobster paint code, which I guess was only made for like 2 years. And it makes it very difficult to paint match TNT corners when you're trying to get that done. So I just got those back from paint, and they're sitting in my garage as well. So lots to do, but we'll make it.
Well, you're a brave man. It sounds like your rig is made for some serious off-road action. And if you're going to color match the flares, you did say flares, right?
The whole rear corners, yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking about a lot of touch-up paint.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it'll be shiny and pretty for maybe a couple months, and then we'll know how that goes. Especially East Coast pinstriping, it just is what it is. Yeah,
that's neat that you go to the extra mile, knowing that the rattle can black would be the really the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, no, we try to make them as nice as we can. I think I'll throw Corey under the bus since he's not here, but he tends to be the slap it together and get it on the trail guy. But his Jeeps are working, so maybe he's onto something.
Yeah. It's good to throw those things out there.
Some sort of disrepair, but they work, and it's just incredible.
But they work enough too. So we've got 3 different mentalities over here too. So it's much.
So I would say that and I'm just guessing at this, we do have a few hardcore people that aren't just listeners, but also 2 members of the team. But the things that you guys are doing to your Jeeps are pretty hardcore type stuff. Is this something that's new to you, or have you been making modifications like this to Jeeps for a while?
It's been a while. Yeah. I'm on version 5 of mine. You're on what?
Version 4.
4, yeah. So I think like a lot of people, we started early on when none of us were making a bunch of money, and you just kind of put together what you could put together and went wheeling. And I think that honestly makes you a better wheeler, because you don't have, a brand new JL on 42s and a V8 sitting up there, and kind of know what you're doing, and it makes it fun. So as we've kind of, gone through our lives, we've version 2, version 3, version 4, and the three of us took a trip out to Moab back in September of 23. And that was probably the hardest core, true rock crawling, technical rock crawling that we did. And I think all three of us came back from that trip and had a complete build sheet of what we wanted to change.
Taking notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've just kind of been chipping away. And I'll kind of segue that into what our channel is kind of about, because all three of us have full-time jobs. So this is a side kind of hobby and project for us. And we kind of figured, hey, if we're going to do all this, we might as well film it and just kind of see what happens. And our kind of shtick, if you will, is that we're average guys. None of us are mechanics. None of us have fab experience. We've just kind of figured some things out along the way, and we're trying to kind of help the average Joe take the next step in off-roading. So if that's getting into the garage to, do something simple like put a lift kit on, or maybe just, put some grab handles on your Jeep, or whatever level you're at, we're just kind of here to help you figure that out. So that, and just kind of get out on the trail. And it seems like, 35s used to be enough, and now it's 37s, and we've got 46s and 56, all these crazy tires. So you don't have to have a huge build to go out and have fun. And we're trying to kind of communicate that message too. So just get out there and enjoy yourself and see what you can do and what your Jeep can do.
Yeah. Every group we've ever been wheeling with, we've always been the small guys of the group.
That's still
35s or 37s, and we're like, yeah, we're just gonna hang out here. We're gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be exciting while we do it.
And we seem to have the most fun and still end up going where everybody else is going. So that counts for something, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have a couple of people that are very well versed, especially in Moab. And whenever he goes out there, when he doesn't take his Jeep with him, he'll usually get a rental or something that somebody provides him, stock. And he goes everywhere, trail leader. He goes everywhere in a stock Wrangler, because he says it's not about the Jeep, it's about the driver. And
the coolest thing we saw out there was, I forget what the guy's name is. He's like a famous guy.
It was Mick
out there.
Dan Mick.
Yeah. In a red JKU with 3 guests in there on street tires.
Screaming.
For hell of revenge in front of us.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're obviously going to follow this guy and see what lines he takes, because he's going to make it. And it was incredible just to watch him put it exactly where you need it to be. And I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. Well, I guess when you know your vehicle well enough, you can just do it.
So I went out to Moab Easter Jeep Safari for the first time in 2023. And I was following people. I mean, it's a 21 Gladiator 2-inch Mopar lift on 35s. And I was just following people, and it was extremely easy. Metal masher. I mean, obviously there's areas that you can go that I wasn't going, but I mean, just doing the trail and following along everybody else, very, very easy. And then there was there was a breakage. I stayed there with some folks while the breakage was being fixed, or they were dragging the person where they could get them off the mountain. And then I was kind of all by myself. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and head down. And I had to go over a very simple shelf that I'd gone over many of them out there. And I went for it. Boom. Nope, that didn't work. Let me back up a little bit. Boom. That didn't work. What the hell's going on here? I was picking the line, especially when somebody else is doing it for you. It makes it, the Jeep is capable. It was me that I couldn't pick a line, because I didn't have to pick a line all day long. Yeah. So.
Yeah, especially out there, it's you have so much traction, there's so much grip. And
sandpaper attached to rock.
It's really wild to see like where you can go and how you can get there. But I feel like we wheel Kentucky and Tennessee and West Virginia, and there's a lot of, hey, I want to go over there, but it's pretty slick, and my Jeep's not going to. So there's a lot of I'm going to try this line and might end up on another one, and that's where our extra cylinders would hopefully come into play. But we'll get there eventually. And
it's just like a winch and horsepower can get you in serious trouble. A winch will get you in trouble because you figure, I got a winch. And then and the horsepower is, holy shit, okay, throttle it out. And then you go, why is this thing going sideways?
And that was me. We were on Metal Masher, and I decided to do Rock Chucker because I was like, I got the wheelbase. I'll make it happen. And I got on top of that rock, and I was like, Seth, can you drive around and put a winch to my side? Because I think I'm going to fall off this thing. So, yeah, sometimes there are.
Smart man, because a lot of times people won't do that because they don't want to get made fun of or not accomplishing it on your own. And that's one thing that people need to understand. You're not out there to impress anybody. You're there to do the obstacle and be safe and have fun.
Yeah. Well, and he just said he had the wheelbase to try it. He's always kind of been our safety net, because I feel like most of the trails now is for a 4-door Jeep. So you're looking at 115, 118 inch wheelbase. And until I did a stretch on mine, we had 3 different wheelbases. So even if you saw the guy,
oh wow,
then you weren't really going to do it, because he was 115. Corey had an LJ, so he was around 103, and I was sitting in a unstretched JK at like 96, 97. So at least Corey and I have the same wheelbase now, so we can help each other out there. But
so actually, that sounds like a perfect situation for a YouTube channel, because you have various aspects of different length Jeeps going over an obstacle. Did you guys ever play up that angle on your YouTubes?
So our most, let's see.
I think the Windrock trip with the TJ.
Our last Windrock trip where we had to take the TJ because mine wasn't done. You could definitely see that in a couple of those videos, because we did Trail 3, which if those listeners who are familiar with Windrock will know what I'm talking about. But there's a pretty good rock garden at the top of that. And Mason was able to kind of crawl around one side with his, granted, a little bit bigger tires too. Corey and I are both on 37s, and Corey could kind of go up the middle of the line, and I really had to work to get the TJ up there. So it was cool to kind of see how each Jeep was different and each setup had its advantages.
Do you think, in my mind, now I have 2 long vehicles, the XJ and the Gladiator, certainly the longest. So in my mind, long Jeeps it really isn't a problem. That's the only thing I've ever wheeled. But I've always felt that a 2-door Wrangler, a TJ is the one I love the most. It is like the go-to vehicle. And it kind of sounds like it's more complex than a longer Jeep.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy we wheel with, Bob, that has a 2-door TJ, and that man will put it anywhere a 42 or 43 4-door JK would go. And he just crawls things and makes it look effortless.
Yeah, no bead logs, like 30 times, manuals.
Yeah, how is it wheeling a Gladiator?
It was great. I loved it. It was especially driving the 19 hours to and from, because it's like driving a Cadillac, man. I mean, when you're used to an XJ with a lot of modifications and poly instead of rubber bushings, it was really nice. I finally got my wife. She wouldn't go with me in 2023, but she went with me in 2024, and she loved it. You know what the eye candy is out there. It is just absolutely gorgeous out there, and she's afraid of heights. Is it Schaefer's Trail? Is that the one? I don't know if you guys have been on that one. There's a V-notch canyon. I forget what it's called. Maybe that's Schaefer's Trail. And we were trying to get to it. It's very easy, and I knew it'd be perfect for her. You're down in a valley with these rocks on both sides of you, mountainous rocks and type stuff. Boulders the size of houses that I don't know how it's staying on the side of the wall there. And I thought, this is perfect for her. It might be a little scary, but it's not anything where there's a lot of drops or off camber really at all. And I didn't make my turn correctly. So we went all the way around, and then I was coming back towards where our destination was. And I think it was Schaefer's Trail that we had to go up. And it's a 1-lane, 1,000-foot back and forth getting up the side of the mountain there.
Oh, man.
And it was, yeah. And she was freaking out, and it snowed while we were going up.
Remember? Yeah, I heard about that.
And she was barefoot. I don't know why she was barefoot, but she's running around outside with us. We're in Southeast Texas, so snow, come on, And so she's running around barefoot, messing with the snow and on the edge of the drop, because apparently the snow, you forget about your fear of heights. And it was just so much fun, but I did not plan on taking her on a scary route, but it was really, really neat. I enjoyed the hell out of it. You could look down and see other Jeeps. You could look out a mile and see Jeeps come in on the road that we came in on. And it was just so cool. I'm glad we did that. And I'm glad she was able to survive it, emotionally.
We ran the trifecta, which was what was that? Golden Spike, Poison Spider, and
Gold Bar Rim.
Gold Bar Rim. Yeah. So you're kind of up on that mesa all day long. And I mean, you can see canyon lands, you can see arches. It's like a 12-hour day to do all three of those trails, but definitely worth it. My wife was supposed to come with us on that trip and ended up not being able to make it last minute. So we need to do another trip and get her out there because I think she'd have a similar experience.
Yeah. I'm very afraid of heights, so I was the one always parking way closer than you needed to.
Surely you've seen that YouTube video where the couple is on Black Bear Pass, and she's got a kind of an accent, like a Swedish or whatever Holland accent. And she's going, "Oh, honey, get more over." She was on the passenger side, so that she was getting close to the wall. And he's going, "I can't. I'll scrape the wall." And she, "No, you can get over." It was a great video. Poor thing. I know she was terrified, but she lived, damn it.
Yeah. She has a story to tell.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the journey.
That's exactly right.
How we got to Moab.
Yeah, so the three of us started wheeling together probably 5-6 years ago, and Corey and myself were actually planning a trip to Moab in April of 2020. And we all know what happened in 2020.
Right.
So trying to go to EJS in 2020, and then things just kept happening. We didn't make it till 23, and we didn't go for EJS. So still kind of on our list. I was glad that our first time out there was not EJS, just because we could go wherever we wanted to go. Eat wherever you wanted to eat. There was no, crowds or clogged up trails to deal with. But I would like to go back and kind of see what that whole thing, what that experience is like.
So I've only been out there twice, and EJS both times. And I know a lot of people and these are people that have never gone to EJS. They may have gone to Moab in the past. They say they don't want to do EJS because it's too crowded. I guess it could be if you're doing the 4x4 Red Rock group or something. We didn't. We just did our own thing. The Jeep Talk Show just did our own thing. Okay. And there were Jeeps out there, certainly, but I liked it. I liked seeing the builds. I liked watching other people go up and over things. But I mean, I don't like crowds. I'm down in Southeast Texas. I would drive I-10 to work every day. I know what crowd it is. It wasn't bad at all. So and not so much of telling you guys, but the audience, as far as going to EJS. I mean, if you want to go out there and have fun, see the concept vehicles, see a lot of cool vehicles out there, and maybe even see some influencers, people that you've been watching for years. I got a friend that knows a lot of people in the industry, and I was in a place where there was a get together, and Ian Johnson was right there, 6 foot away from me. Nice. And he said, Greg says, "You want to meet Ian?" I said, "Yeah, sure." He goes over there. He talks to Ian. Ian was too busy. So I've never met Ian Johnson, but I was within 6 feet of him.
There you go. Yeah, enough for the hair to touch you, right?
That's right. He looks suspect. I don't know. I'm not comfortable. He was busy talking and having fun. I don't blame him, but I thought it was funny. Matt from Matt's Off-Road. I went and interrupted him at the Moab Diner while he was looking at the menu. At least he wasn't eating when I interrupted him. So it's a great time to go and see people that maybe you've been watching for years.
Right. Yeah. And it's definitely on our list of, events to get to. I know that this year, we're basically staying local with our ride schedule for 25, but we're going to do some kind of big trip. For us, big is anything west of the Mississippi. So we'll do some kind of big trip in 26. And we've talked about the Rubicon. We've talked about Sand Hollow. Haven't really nailed that down yet, but still looking for suggestions too. If anyone's got a crazy.
We talked about Trail Hero at one point, going out to Sand Hollow, because again, it's a place we don't know, but we know you can get pretty gnarly pretty quickly out there.
The hard for us is it takes, it took us 3 days to get out to Moab and 3 days to get back. So you spend about a week.
Good God. Yeah.
You can do it in 2, but you're going to be pretty smoked by the time you get there. So there's not a whole lot in Kansas to stop to make a midpoint.
If I never have to drive through Kansas again, I'd be happy. I was miserable the whole time.
Yeah, it was a pretty long day for us. But so when we go out there, we got to make it, a pretty long trip.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm in Southeast Texas. It's a 19-hour drive if you drove straight through and didn't have to stop for gas or pee breaks, which doesn't happen. But the 19 hours isn't too bad. Both times we stopped about midway and had a place to stay, a house that we stayed the night And then of course breaking up that long trip makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But I'll tell everybody this: if you're in Texas, at least from Southeast Texas, it is boring as hell, especially if you live in Texas all your life. It is boring as hell until you get to New Mexico. And then New Mexico, it changes. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering this right, you can actually see the mountains in Colorado from freaking New Mexico, which I thought was cool since we don't have mountains here.
We don't have them here in Ohio either. Yeah, we were driving through Kansas. We hit the Colorado border, and I was like, I can see Denver. We're almost there.
Yeah. That was like a 12 or 14 hour day. We stopped, I think, in St. Louis the night before and then pushed hard the second day. So it made some memories, but I don't know if they were good ones or bad ones.
Yeah, well, no, but you're exactly right. You can have fun complaining about something, and the people that were with you go, "Oh, I know, it really sucked," and they got a big smile on their face. So
everyone talks about Kansas being flat, but no one tells you that it's a ramp.
Yeah.
It goes from like 2,000 feet in elevation up to 5,000. So for 8 hours, you're just driving uphill the whole time.
Oh, wow.
The truck didn't love that one.
Yeah, the old F-150 was having a real tough time with the wind and everything in that one.
Yeah, I'm sure, and it's never a tailwind. It's always you're always driving into it. So let me get back to your YouTube video. What kind of videos do you do on your channel? Oh, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I forgot to mention this, the website, TBN, like Turner Broadcast Network, or Trails by Noon, offroad.com. And it's TBN Off-Road on the YouTube, so you can just go to YouTube and search for TBN Off-Road. So what kind of videos do you do, and has it changed in the year that you've been doing it?
I don't know if the kind of essence of it has changed, but maybe some of the styling has changed as we've kind of gotten better at filming and editing. But we have a little bit of everything. Some of our videos are kind of a vlog style. The one that we just released, actually, of us kind of prepping all of Corey's vehicles in 3 days. Wasn't so much a how-to, but just kind of hanging out with us in the shop and just seeing what we're getting into. We do have some kind of how-to videos if it's a very technical kind of install type video. We're actually working on an off-road 101 series, kind of a how to winch, how to spot, how to use your lockers, that type of thing. So those will be coming out soon. Those are in progress right now. And yeah, I think it just kind of all of the different styles we've kind of tried, and each situation kind of calls for a different type of video too, because we spent 3 days, our most recent video, we spent 3 days. I have a family farm a couple hours from here, and we fixed 3 vehicles in 3 days, and we did a lot of work. So yeah. We probably could have made 8 how-to videos in that time frame, but I don't know if anybody would have thought that was interesting or not.
Well, it slows down the progress so much, because people need to understand this. If you've never put together a video, even just for a social media thing, it really slows down the process of getting what you're getting done to get it done.
It makes 3 of us working together at the farm really nice, because it's 2 people working on something, 1 person filming.
Yeah.
And then
one person's not going to be working anyway, no matter how you how you design it.
Well, we also have some of our wheeling videos have started to come out now. We spent the last year basically doing in the shop type videos, because all 4 of the Jeeps really, because we worked on the Jeep. Yeah. We're getting built, so now we're getting into wheeling season. We got a couple out already, but let's see. And yeah, 3 days.
3 days.
Thursday we're leaving to go down to Jellicoe, Tennessee with our local off-road club. To go do a ride down there. And we've got 5 scheduled rides right now that are on our website that are open. People can come with us. Most of them are with Ohio River Four-Wheelers, which is our local club. And then we're doing a couple of the Great American Crawl. What are we doing? We're doing S'more
and Windrock.
So we're doing some group rides this year. There's a couple kind of gaps in our schedule that we left open on purpose. I think June is one of those where we might go just the 3 of us and kind of invite some subscribers along, or just kind of make it an open invite. But we wanted to make sure the Jeeps were in good shape, and we were, our schedules were free enough, and we weren't back in the shop fixing whatever we broke on the last wheeling trip. So more to come.
Yeah.
So do you get a lot of interaction with your subscribers, and is it just on YouTube comments, feedback, or is there other ways?
Every day from people asking about Seth's stretch.
Yeah, I've got a lot about
the stretch. So much interest of, I can stretch a 2-door? How do I do that?
And so we did a build series on the stretch. I think at this point, there's probably 5 or 6 videos on it, I don't remember. And when I was looking at stretching, and this is kind of another reason that we have the YouTube channel, is a lot of Jeepers, I feel like, or just kind of gearheads in general, we use YouTube to figure out how to do something, right? Like it's kind of just a video instruction manual. And when I was looking at stretching my Jeep, there wasn't a whole lot out there. There's a few videos of like, oh, this is the kit I used and this is kind of how it went. But it was a 10-minute video and it wasn't really a step-by-step. So we do have like 4 parts of, I'd say 90% of what you would need to actually do a stretch is in there. Funny, I actually just got a message today about my bump stops because I had High Lift Off-Road, our local shop that we talked about, Natalie earlier, her shop. Well, I had them install the bump stops, so that was the one thing they didn't see on the YouTube video. But yeah, I've got a lot of feedback on that, which is awesome. We kind of saw a gap there, and I'm glad that everyone's enjoying the videos. And
well, that really helps the process too, because you're doing something that you go, oh, it's just bump stops. You screw them in. You get the right size. You screw them in. You're done. But somebody is going to know or understand that, and then it tells you the next time when you're doing something that little detail you might want to put in there.
Yeah, so that was the message I got yesterday from one of our subscribers was, how'd you solve the e-brake problem on the stretch? And we're like, oh, you take the...
We don't have one.
Yeah, or you can take them out. But yeah, you just use 4-door e-brake cables and it works.
It's funny too, because
something so simple.
So it's kind of funny because we film everything, and only a small portion of that actually makes it into a video. So I've actually had someone messaged me about my TNT corners and my taillights and a couple questions, and I was like, oh yeah, it's in this video. And I went to send them the video and realized that I had filmed an entire video that was still sitting on my phone that I just hadn't edited and posted yet. And I was like, oh, I've actually got your answer, but it's not out yet. So yeah, we've had some good feedback with our subscribers, and it's nice to kind of see that community grow.
Yeah, we've had a couple reach out locally that are like, oh, we saw you guys have a ride schedule. Can we come join it? I'm like, yep, all the rides that we're doing.
Nice, that's wonderful. Yeah. Do you think that the people join in the videos and the rides because you guys have credibility, because you're building these Jeeps yourself and you're going some hardcore off-road stuff? I don't know that everybody wants to do hardcore, but they don't mind being associated or being there when the rollover happens.
Oh yeah, right. Well, I don't know how much. I don't know. To us, it's not hardcore, but I guess to somebody just starting out, it probably seems hardcore. So perspective is everything. But
if you have to have 40s and stretch, it's more hardcore than somebody going out there at a stock Jeep.
That is very true.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of get to a point too where you build it up and you are comfortable wheeling it, and then you end up wheeling with somebody with a bigger rig, and you're like, oh well, if I just did this, then I could go do that trail too. So you're always kind of chasing that I don't know, carrot.
Well, the aftermarket appreciates it.
Yes.
Oh yes, they do
for sure.
So the purpose behind the YouTube channel, are you guys hoping to get monetized and make a little coin so you can buy more parts for your Jeeps? Is it just all for fun? I mean, it's effort. People need to understand YouTube is an effort to do it, and they need to be very grateful that people like you take the time to video and put things up.
Yes, I think the long range goal is, let's get monetized. Let's see what we can do with this eventually. But I think the other thing that we talked about a lot is all the people that we watch on YouTube, everyone's out on the West Coast, except for, I think, about 3 people that we watch that are here on the East Coast.
Right.
We really want to showcase East Coast wheeling because it's either private property or one of a handful of parks that's still in running. So let's showcase the park. Let's showcase where we can go wheeling and try and keep it open as well.
Yeah. What is the park? I think it's in Pennsylvania. Ian Johnson would always do his builds and take it out there.
Roush.
Yeah.
It's an awesome park. If you've never been there, that has got some crazy technical rock crawling. If you want some hardcore rock crawling, that park is awesome.
Yeah. So that's the only East Coast thing I can remember that was actually on TV. So I'm sure they got a lot of notoriety from Ian's Extreme Terrain show.
Yep.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, it would be nice to make some money off of YouTube. That's not why we started the channel.
It doesn't sound like it. I mean, you guys don't have a product, do you?
Well, we have some merch on our website.
Yeah.
We do have some T-shirts. It's on TBN Off-Road. So if the listeners would like to support us, go there and buy a T-shirt. We'll appreciate it. But I mean, we kind of did this just because we felt like our kind of wheeling and our style of working on Jeeps and hanging out together and just kind of enjoying where we are isn't really out there on YouTube. And like I said, we're going to be doing it anyway. We might as well share it with everybody else. So we just kind of want to get people involved and go wheel, go wrench on your Jeep, and just kind of enjoy the sport like we do.
So, but for people that haven't been over to your YouTube channel, for your videos, is it just dash-mounted cameras, and you're seeing the trail from the driver's perspective, or give the listeners, the viewers, a little more enticement? That's what they should look for on your YouTube channel.
At least our actual our wheeling videos themselves, we have external camera with somebody walking around watching the Jeep actually go up.
Perfect.
We've got that kind of cut on top of some dash cam video, so you kind of get to see what it looks like inside and looks like outside. We've got drones, so we're flying drones around and kind of show you what the trail looks like. Like I said, Mason has Corey just bought an Insta360, so one of those 360 degree cameras. We're still working on getting those edited. Those are a little bit different, but
I bet
using that more as like a chase cam for the car.
Yeah. B-roll is very important, and I'm sure that's what you're using the drone footage for too. Is just a quick overview type thing, and just a different perspective. It's really very, very nice.
Well,
what do you guys do about the FAA rules as far as using? Somebody knows.
I have two pilots with me.
Yeah, Corey and myself actually fly airplanes for a living, so he and I both are also commercial drone operators. So as far as that's concerned, we're covered.
Yeah, isn't that test ridiculous with the amount of pilot knowledge that they expect you to know? I mean, that's a lot. That is pilot type stuff that they have on there.
It is nice if you were an actual pilot. That whole process is simplified significantly, so it wasn't difficult for us to go through there.
Very, very nice. So you guys are legal. You're not going to get a call from the FAA. Can you imagine your job is to sit there and scan YouTube videos for illegal use of drones?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's nice, too, because when we're doing that technical rock crawling, you can just park the drone right above the obstacle, and you have a full spotter driving, and you're good to go.
Yeah, the drones will actually, have active tracking, so you can latch it on in your vehicle, and, it'll fly it around, and it's pretty...
It's a miracle. It is just amazing.
Yeah. And, we kind of... The drone part of it too, there's not a whole lot of footage, especially from a Jeep standpoint, on a lot of the East Coast, wheeling. Like you just talked about Roush, and without Ian actually going there and filming a TV show, you probably couldn't find a whole lot on YouTube about it. So that was kind of the other thing that we're trying to get. I'd like to do kind of a trail review, or not really a rating system, but hey, we're on trail 5 at whatever park, and this is what it looks like. And that's really hard if you're going to a new park and you want to, figure out what trails you should run, or is my Jeep big enough, or am I a good enough driver to go do this trail? Around here, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, we've signed up with Onyx as the Onyx Ambassador Program, and so we've started doing that as we get more and more trails mapped out, we'll post on, all right, here's how to do Trail 15. Mm-hmm. Here's 22 down at Windrock. Because we got ourselves into a pickle like that at Windrock, where we had some service, and we're like, all right, can we go down this trail? We looked at a YouTube video, and like, oh, these razors made it down there. We'll be fine.
I think all three of us lost the taillight that day.
Yeah. And then it was some pretty gnarly ledges getting down it, and we're like, maybe we shouldn't have done this. But again, if we could help the next person know that don't do this trail unless you're built like this.
Yeah.
So I think you already mentioned Onyx Off-Road. So you guys are probably partnered up with them. But from what you were describing, it reminded me a lot of the Trails Off-Road software, the app that they have, as far as images of the trail and the ratings and all that stuff. That I was going to actually suggest that you contact Todd over there at Trails Off-Road and get involved with them. But I don't, unless you got a exclusive agreement, it wouldn't keep you from doing part of that. But if you haven't checked out Trails Off-Road, have a look at that, because it's a lot of like what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we'll have to look them up. We started out with Gaia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think everybody does, and they continue to use it even if they've got Onyx or Trails Off-Road.
Yeah, and we still do, because it's easy to share maps with a lot of our local people. And then we started using Onyx maybe like a year or so ago.
Mm-hmm. Onyx has grown pretty significantly in the last year, and I think they've done a pretty good job of their ambassador program and their trail guide program, and it's exciting to kind of see where that app's going to.
Right. So you know how the kids, they love the social media these days. I think it has a lot to do with pictures and less on words. So are you guys on the social media where they can find you? We mentioned TBNoffroad.com, the website, and they can go to YouTube and just do a search for TBNoffroad.com or TBN Off-Road. Are you guys on the Instagram? Please don't tell me you're on Pinterest. Where you at?
No, if it's TBN Off-Road on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So it's simple. You can follow us anywhere. The website has the link to all of our social medias. You'll see us post differently from whether it's the JKU, the Stretch, or the LJs. And we try and keep everything just on TBN Off-Road.
Yep. You guys have T-shirts on the website. What about stickers? Do you guys have stickers as well?
We're working on some stickers, some decals. We've got some special edition merch that's going to come out here in maybe a month or so for Memorial Day. So, yeah, stay tuned on that one because we're going to be putting some cool stuff on the website soon.
Very, very nice. Seth, Mason, thank you very much for being here, and we'll have to get you guys back. You have a lot of stuff to talk about, a big story to tell, and lots of luck on growing the YouTube channel. It's busy out there. There's a lot of competition, so standing out is a big deal. Hopefully, we'll send a few people your way.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.